in America. 3 deadly mass shootings in just 1 week.
Oh, they shooting. Oh,
First, Gilroy. Then El Paso, Texas.
Shot fired. Shot fired.
And Dayton, Ohio. Now renewed calls for change in Washington.
The president not only tolerates but invites the kind of racism and hatred that not only offends us but changes who we are as a country.
It is 6 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Barry Brown. Welcome to Wake Up. This has been a week of terror in the United States. Just 6 days after the deadly shooting in Gilroy, dozens are dead after 2 mass shootings this weekend. That brings the total of mass shootings in this country to 251 this year. On Saturday, it was at a mall in El Paso. The early Sunday shooting in Dayton, Ohio followed that. Here are the numbers from this week. 3 dead in Gilroy, 20 dead in El Paso, many immigrants from Mexico, 9 dead in Dayton. Now, we have continuing coverage for you this morning. We begin in El Paso, Texas, where all of the bodies have been removed from that Walmart store where the shooter opened fire. And this morning, a domestic terrorism investigation is underway. 20 people died there, 26 others injured. We're learning more about the alleged shooter and also about the incredible bravery and heroics of many people at the scene. Chris Martinez is in El Paso with the latest developments.
Officials are promising swift and certain justice in the mass shooting at an El Paso Walmart on Saturday.
The state charge is capital murder, and so he is eligible for the death penalty. We will seek the death penalty.
The attack is being investigated as a hate crime and domestic terrorism. Police say the suspect, 21-year-old Patrick Crucius, allegedly uploaded an anti-immigrant manifesto online just minutes before the shooting.
The first victims were outside the Walmart, a girls' soccer team fundraising with their parents and coaches.
And then he came walking towards us to make sure we all got shot again.
These 2 men helped some of them get to safety.
I found one of them. She was shot in her legs. We pulled her out with one of the Sam's carts and we got her out of there to an ambulance.
Glendon Oakley is a U.S. soldier who was nearby when the shooting unfolded.
I did that because that's what I was trained to do.
He ran towards the gunfire and started scooping up children running in the parking lot.
I'm more focused on the families that were lost and the kids that died and the people that died.
Among those who lost their lives inside the store, Jordan and Andre Anchondo. Jordan apparently shielded her 2-month-old son from the gunfire.
I'd give my life and trade for hers. She had 3 babies she needed to raise.
Police say the Walmart was at capacity on Saturday, full of back-to-school shoppers. Chris Martinez, CBS News, El Paso, Texas.
New this morning, the Mexican government says it is now considering legal action to gain access to the U.S. investigation and the extradition of the suspected shooter to Mexico. 7 Mexican citizens died in the shooting. Officials there call it an act of terrorism against Mexicans. And now to Dayton, Ohio. Just hours later, there was another shooting and at least 9 people are dead this morning. This happened just before 1 a.m. Sunday morning when a gunman opened fire in the city's nightlife district. Authorities say the shooting lasted about 30 seconds until officers were able to take down the heavily armed gunman. He's been identified as Connor Betts. 20 people injured. Officials say it could have been much worse if police had not responded as quickly.
Had this individual made it through the doorway of Ned Pepper's with that level of weaponry, there would have been a catastrophic injury and loss of life.
Among the fatalities was the shooter's own sister. No motive has been confirmed thus far. Several Democratic presidential hopefuls now pointing the finger at President Trump. Beto O'Rourke called him a white nationalist, saying that his comments as a candidate and president leave no room for debate. Julian Castro, the sole Latino candidate in the Democratic race, accused the president of inciting violence through his rhetoric.
He's given license for this toxic brew of white supremacy to fester more and more in this country.
Lawmakers are currently out on their August recess, though some are demanding that Congress return immediately and take up gun legislation. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's office announced, though, that he'll be working from home for a while after fracturing his shoulder, essentially blocking any legislation from moving forward. 6:05 is the time. Here's a live picture from Christmas Hill Park in Gilroy. You can see the memorial there at the site of Sunday's deadly mass shooting. It was just a week ago that investigators started trying to unravel the details of the Garlic Festival shooting. 3 people were killed, 12 wounded. Police say the suspect took his own life after being shot multiple times by police. And while law enforcement continue to collect evidence, another question now emerges: what is next for the annual Garlic Festival? KION's Victor Guzman live at Christmas Hill Park this morning with what city leaders and residents have to say about that. Victor, good morning.
Good morning, Barry. And the city says their goal is to bring the event back for next year. There's a board of directors for the Garlic Festival that are going to determine not only if that's going to happen, but also how it's going to happen, what measures have to be changed in order to get the event running as it used to in the 40 years before this shooting took place. Now, residents want this event back too. The festival is world-renowned, brings money in for local charities, over $250,000 last year. It's gone on for now 41 years, and residents say this one incident in all those years should not prevent it from coming back. Residents hope with a week gone since the shooting, the healing process can now take over the minds of community members.
It even breaks my heart, those that had lost their lives and, everybody that was there that day, I just continue to keep praying for them.
I'm hoping that it continues because we need to keep doing this. We have to look forward.
And the city wants it to continue to. They have expressed interest in bringing back the festival for next year. There's hints from organizers that it's going to be coming back as well next year too. I'll have details on that coming up in my next report in 30 minutes. Barry, back to you.
All right, thank you very much for that, Victor. Well, today, those who have yet to retrieve their cars from Christmas Hill Park will be able to do so. You need to go to Antonio Del Buono Elementary School first between, it's at 9300 Wren Avenue. The hours 9 in the morning till 6:30 p.m. Bring a valid driver's license, proof of registration, and insurance, and you will be shuttled to the site. Starting tomorrow, anybody who left personal items behind will be able to retrieve their property. This happens Tuesday through Thursday at the Wheeler Community Center on West 6th Street in Gilroy. Hours there, 11 a.m. till 7 p.m. Vendors must contact the Gilroy Garlic Festival Association to retrieve their items or access their booths. For additional details on the Garlic Festival shooting and the Gilroy Strong recovery efforts, visit us online at KION546.com. 6:07 right now. Firefighters are still working the mill fire, which is burning near Nacimiento Ferguson Road and Highway 1 in the Los Padres National Forest. The fire has burned approximately 310 acres and is 60% contained this morning. There have been 2 minor injuries reported. The cause of that fire still under investigation. Time to take a live look outside from our Mount Toro weather camera, and we see the effects of the coastal low clouds working their way into the valleys. We'll see what's on store as we say hi to our Weather Authority meteorologist, Erica Lopez.
Yeah, Barry, that's a beautiful shot of Mount Toro we have out there. You can see the high clouds in the area and even the marine layer that's in full force. I want to talk about that visibility right now. That's our main issue for the morning commute. As you can see, we're dealing with visibility down to 1 mile in the Watsonville area and as you commute along the Santa Cruz Mountains. I think this is really where we're going to run into the biggest issues, at least in terms of visibility and patchy dense fog for the commute. If you're commuting along these areas, watch out, maybe give yourself a little bit of extra time. But here's a look at the rest of the morning commute. It is mild outside as you walk out the door. We're going to be in the 60s at least through 8 o'clock this morning. It will be slow to warm up just because those overcast skies will linger a little bit longer, especially along our coastal areas. And sunrise time around 6:16, so that's just a couple of minutes away. And after we get through that sunrise, that's when we're really going to start to see diminishing low clouds along the Salinas Valley. But let's take a look at your Waze traffic report this morning. It's a busy start if you're traveling along Highway 101 northbound. In Salinas, highway speeds down to about 18 miles per hour. Some red on the screen. There is no accident in this area, so it may be due to a little bit of construction that's going on in this area this morning. In Hollister, as you're getting out of San Juan Bautista, also dealing with more red on the screen, but not too bad as of right now. Another area I've been tracking all morning, State Route 152, as you're getting into 156, highway speeds down to 16 miles per hour. You're seeing a lot of red on the screen. It's going to take you a little while as well to get through this area. Another area, one of our typical spots. It's picking up Highway 101 northbound near San Martin. Highway speeds down to 20 miles per hour. And we're going to take a look at that drive time as you're trying to get through that heavy traffic along Salinas. It's going to take you a little while. That drive time right now from Salinas to the Bay Area is going to take you about 53 minutes this morning. And remember, if you do want to keep track of these reports, download the Waze app on your smartphone. Barry.
All right, Erica, thank you very much for that. Let's talk money now. How much are you saving for retirement? We're going to look at a new study, and it finds that it's probably not enough. See how experts say you can fix that. Plus, a day at the beach turns tragic in Southern California. Several people killed there when a cliff gives way, collapses onto the beach. We'll hear from lifeguards who say that people are not listening to their warnings. And new on Wake Up this morning, protests in Hong Kong intensify overnight. How it's affecting international airline service now.